Today we are going to be adding CSS to our HTML web page to make the code cleaner and way easier to edit and read. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do is create our style.css file. And what this will be is this was where we'll store our CSS code, which is basically what we put in the style tag. And what I'm going to do next is we're going to, in the head tag, add a link with the rel of style sheet and a href, which basically just tells the computer where the CSS file is. I'm going to set that to style.css. And what this is going to do, this is going to link our style CSS file as a style sheet. And so what's going to happen is now, instead of having the style tag inside these tags, we can have it separately, which makes our code more organized and it's somewhat easier to read. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to do body. And what this will do is this will set the style for the body tag so that we don't need this anymore. Now, when I delete that, it makes the background white. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set background color to black. And what that's going to do is that's going to basically create a style tag inside the body element without it actually being there. So now it's black. And the next thing we can do is we can say P, and we're going to say color is equal to white. And now what that does is it overrides the P element style. So I believe that now we do not need the style for this tag. And it will automatically create them white again, not black. And so it's basically a neat way of organizing things. We can do H1 color yellow. I'm gonna put space there. And then we can delete that. And it's still yellow. So I think that this is somewhat easier to read, in my opinion. And we can also use images and edit the width and height of images. So I'm going to go image, which is img. We're going to go width is equal to 100 pixels. And height is equal to 100 pixels. So basically the same thing we're doing here, but in style.css. So now, making it slightly easier to read, it's still 100 by 100. Now, if we were to comment this out, the images, oh, I forgot to save that. The images would become like huge and out of ratio. So what this does is it basically defines the ratio automatically without it actually being in your HTML code. So in your HTML code, you can focus more on actually what's in there, and here you can focus on more what it looks like. And so what I want to do is, because let's say this was also an H1, what that would do is now the menu is also yellow. So what I want to do is we're going to add IDs and classes. So how this works is if I go to our title and go ID of title. Now, instead of just defining h1 with a color of yellow, we can define title, starting with a £, title. Oh. And now what that does is it only defines the yellow for here. But now this is black because only the P is specified. So what we're going to do is in our elements of, I'm going to just say white items. So we're going to go class is equal to white items. And this is just an example. You can name the class whatever you want. I'm going to just put this in all of our there. And now this only goes for P. So what we can do is we could go dot white items. Make sure this is the same as the class name if you chose a different one. And now all of the things that are defined with class of white items are now white. And so now we can change this back to a p tag now, but that's just, yeah, items and classes and IDs and CSS. And so now this looks a whole lot easier to read than if we go all the way back to the beginning. I feel like that is way harder to read than if we just optimize this for that. And now the nice thing is you don't have to do style every time. All you have to do is define a class, and you could just call this W, and it would still work as long as you redefine it in CSS. Oh, which honestly, in my opinion, makes the styling way easier because now still white, the code is shortened a lot. And that is how you use CSS in your HTML web page. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.